Silence is not weakness. Silence is not fear. Silence is often the language of preparation. Throughout history, God has always worked in seasons, and before every major manifestation, there has always been a period of concealment. What many people call delay is often divine strategy. What looks like being overlooked is usually protection in this season. Many chosen ones are feeling an inner pull toward quietness. Not isolation driven by fear, but intentional silence guided by wisdom. This is not accidental. When God is about to accelerate purpose, He first refines sensitivity. Strategic silence is not about saying nothing forever. It is about knowing when not to speak yet. Premature revelation can destroy destiny. When something sacred is exposed too early, it attracts misunderstanding, jealousy, resistance, and spiritual interference. That is why God often hides His vessels before He reveals them. Not because they are unworthy, but because they are valuable. Moses lived this pattern. Before leading millions, he spent decades in the desert, away from noise, away from recognition, away from applause. In the quiet, Moses learned responsibility, restraint, and obedience. Had he tried to reveal his calling too early, he would have died as a rebel instead of rising as a deliverer. Silence preserved his assignment. Elijah walked a similar frequency. After public power came private isolation. God fed him in secret, spoke to him in stillness, and strengthened him away from crowds. Elijah did not survive on constant visibility. He survived on divine timing. Silence became his shield in spiritual warfare. When the noise became dangerous, God hid him. David was anointed long before he was appointed. He carried oil on his head, but still tended sheep. He fought battles without a title. He faced betrayal without defending his name. David understood something many people struggle with today. Not every attack requires a response. Sometimes, silence allows God to fight for you. If David had announced his kingship too early, Saul would have destroyed him. Silence kept him alive. In accelerated times, sensitivity becomes protection. When everything moves fast, discernment must move faster. Strategic silence sharpens awareness. It allows you to read energy, intentions, and spiritual atmospheres. When you speak too much, you leak insight. When you explain everything, you weaken mystery. Destiny often requires privacy. This does not mean hiding in fear. It means moving with wisdom. There is a difference between secrecy and sacredness. Some parts of your calling are not meant for public consumption yet. Some visions are for prayer, not presentation. Some plans must remain sealed until heaven gives permission. Many chosen ones struggle internally because their confidence is not loud. They do not feel the need to announce themselves. They observe more than they speak. They sense more than they show. This often creates doubt. They watch others rise quickly, speak boldly, and gain attention, and they wonder if they are falling behind. But God is not building noise. He is building depth. Loud seasons create exposure. Quiet seasons create alignment. When alignment is complete, manifestation becomes effortless. What is rushed must be sustained by force. What is divinely timed is sustained by grace. Strategic silence also trains emotional regulation. It teaches you not to react to everything. Not every opinion deserves your energy. Not every misunderstanding requires clarification. Self-control is a form of power. Those who master their reactions cannot be easily manipulated. Ambiverts naturally carry this balance. They know when to speak and when to withdraw. They understand that influence does not come from constant expression, but from intentional communication. This psychological balance mirrors a spiritual truth. Timing matters more than volume. In leadership, negotiation, and influence, those who pause before speaking often carry more authority. People trust those who listen deeply. Silence communicates confidence. It signals that you are not desperate for validation. You are anchored. God often warns chosen ones through discomfort. If you feel a resistance to oversharing, honor it. If you feel drained after unnecessary conversations, pay attention. If you sense peace in quiet preparation, trust it. Not everyone needs access to your process. In end times acceleration, burnout is a real threat. Silence restores energy. It prevents emotional leakage. It protects focus. When you are constantly explaining yourself, you exhaust your spirit. When you allow God to speak through outcomes instead of arguments, you remain strong. Hidden preparation is not wasted time. It is where character is formed. Skills are refined. Ego is stripped. And alignment is secured. When the season of revelation arrives, you will not need to announce it. Your presence will speak. You are not late. You are not invisible. You are being positioned. The silence you are experiencing is not punishment. It is calibration. Heaven is aligning your inner world with your outer assignment. Trust the quiet. Protect the vision. Honor the timing, and when the moment comes to speak, your words will carry weight because they were forged in silence. If this message resonated with you, like this video, subscribe for more real, simple psychology and spiritual insight, and comment below. In which areas of your life are you learning to stay silent, and where do you feel called to step forward and speak?